Hi friends, in this video, we have prepared a perfect video for those who love home renovation and repair videos. You will not be able to hide your surprise when you see the final change. So let's watch it. The starting point of change starts with the roof. The entire upper part is carefully dismantled and the fatigue of years is removed one by one. The aim here is not just to repair, but to rebuild. Every move forms the first brick of the great transformation. We are still at the beginning of the road, but even these scenes make us very curious about what will happen in the future. After the dismantling of the exterior facade is complete, the big cleaning and dismantling operation inside the house begins. Old flooring, cables hanging from the ceiling and worn traces of years are being removed one by one. Every move made at this stage is an important step towards transforming the upper floor into a brand new living space. The space that is starting to take shape among dust, debris and clutter will soon have a completely different appearance. You will feel the power of this transformation as you watch. Now one of the most exciting steps of the transformation begins. The first guide boards are being placed on the floor. This stage forms the basis of how this now empty attic will transform into a living space. Each board is placed with millimeter calculations and the supporting skeleton of the new floor emerges step by step. Although it may seem like an ordinary renovation when you watch it, these images actually shape the skeleton of a brand new home. Now we turn our eyes to the stairwell leading down to the lower floor. The work done at this point both increases functionality and adds a brand new atmosphere to the architecture of the house. The old transition area is completely reorganized, the floor is carefully cut and the stairwell is clearly prepared. The seemingly detail-like stage is actually a critical step that completes the big picture. A strong and aesthetic connection is established between the floors of the house. Now the painting process begins. The atmosphere of the environment changes with each brush stroke applied to the walls. While the rollers quickly cover large surfaces, the corners are worked with fine workmanship. As the color spreads onto the walls, that long-awaited fresh look emerges. These moments constitute one of the most obvious steps of the transformation. The transformation in the house is now approaching its final stages. Every corner is being worked on with a different detail, assembly is being done in some places, and missing pieces are being completed in others. Sinks, mirrors, shelves and many other details are being placed one by one. These small processes, which are not easy to notice while watching, actually play a big role in the completion of the house. Every detail is meticulously placed in its place, and a holistic, modern look emerges. These moments make everyone who watches say, "There is no beauty without effort." And here is the final state of the house. All the rooms have a brand new look, every detail is in its place, spotlessly clean and tidy. This house, which was renovated with great effort from start to finish, has now turned into a modern, spacious and livable home. Thank you for watching this great transformation. See you in the next video.